Welcome back to Taking Stock, where we get to talk to our experts and our small business community about the common challenges they're facing in their business and how to solve them in a way that leads to better business, more productive teams, and stronger communities. As always, I'm your host, Deke Bowman, Head of Product here at Coble. Today we're here with David from E-Bikes of Holmes County to talk about a bit about his company's journey and how they've navigated business, growth, and economic challenges to become what they are today. And this is the first time in our podcast where we're on site. So for those of you listening and not watching, I'm in David's office with David. We're here in Ohio. You might hear the lift behind us. So if you hear this weird sound that comes, that's the lift in the service shop. We'll check that out later. And then maybe you'll even, if you're watching, you'll get to see me ride one of these electric scooter bike things.
Not a scooter, a bike.
Not a scooter. Yeah, I'm triggering David a little bit. I've gotten to work with David a lot in the past when I was doing consulting here at Coble. So, and I've been here at the shop, and this just seemed like a really fun opportunity to get started. So, thanks for joining us, David, and letting us
for the opportunity
and invading your office, nonetheless.
Not a problem.
So, I'd love to just get into the origins. Right, where did e-bikes come from? Where did it start? And why? Why bikes?
It started. Basically, I had a career change and had to commute to work every day with a bicycle. And there was one big hill between me and the office where I was headed to. And riding a traditional bike, e-bikes were just getting started at that time in the area. The old Bionics kit,
Okay,
it was a retrofit kit, was the only thing that was really popular at that time. And I borrowed my niece's bike a few days a week when she had a job where rotated, but she had 2 days off, usually during the week. And occasionally I borrowed that one, and it was game changer, really. Where, I mean, the hills were not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So me being me, I just started doing research, and I found another brand, had 5-year warranty. It looked good. I started talking with them, became a dealer, brought in 5 kits to start, and sold the first one on my bike, test drove it, loved it, and sold the next one to friends and family, and it just started from there. Basically ran a small ad. It was a marketing company I was working for, used their publication directly out to the Amish community, and that's where it started. It was just after hours, in the evening.
That's amazing. It's amazing too, is that you had a real problem that you encountered. I feel like my experience riding a bike, even in Philly, which is mostly flat, we don't have hills like you have here in Holmes County. I often bring a different shirt to the destination.
Yep.
The pants are probably fine, but if I get there, I need to run to the bathroom, change shirts real quick so I'm not drenched.
It was a big difference arriving to work on an e-bike versus just a traditional bike, especially with the hills that we have here. You're still going through the motions of riding a bike. You're pedaling, and you can select how much assistance you want the bike to give you.
Yeah.
So do you want more of a workout? You can turn it down. You want to get there faster? You just increase the power.
Nice. I'm curious about your family. Do your kids ride bikes?
They sure do. My oldest daughter is 9, almost 10. She's been riding. We had this joke, or not a joke, but she wanted to ride bike at a young age, an e-bike. She could ride a bike without training wheels, with a little bit of assistance at like 2 years old. So, as she became 5, 6, she wants an e-bike. Not yet.
Yeah.
And we had this thing once, she's tall enough, by my logo, she's tall enough for an e-bike.
Yeah.
She wasn't quite there by the time she had her first bike, but, just having the kids around, they're more comfortable riding than we would have been at that age.
Yeah.
My next daughter, she's a little bit more cautious, and she rides bike too. Doesn't have an e-bike yet. She's 5, so that'll come. It's in the near future. And I have a 2-year-old, almost 2-year-old son. He's into anything. So
awesome.
Bikes he has little toy bikes that he plays around with, but
yeah,
it's definitely. It gets them excited as well.
Yeah. We can talk about the details of what the nuances of e-bikes in a little bit, but I'm curious, what was the pivot point? So you had a job, and this was kind of like the side hustle, the nights, the weekends, doing this. What was the point where you said maybe this should be the job?
That actually happened by itself.
Okay.
So the job where it all started did not work out. I was selling marketing, and anybody who can sell marketing, kudos to them, because I was not good at it. I struggled, and I had the opportunity to join a stairway company building high-end stairways and high-end homes to do CAD. Was my previous job, was working with CAD. I loved it. It was a great people to work for at the stairway place.
Yeah.
And I still remember, being on a job, doing a job visit and on site in West Virginia. And one of my bosses, there were two brother-in-laws that owned the business. And he's like, where do you see the bike business leading you? I'm like, you don't have to worry about it. This is a part-time thing.
Mm-hmm.
No intentions of ever being full-time. And about a year later, I was no longer with them.
Oh, wow.
So it happened quick. And they were great people to work for at that time. They supported my future, really.
Yeah.
And Roy gave me a lot of advice. I learned a lot from him. And it was just basically, I kind of, started taking maybe an afternoon off here, came in later there. And eventually I was full time, and I never officially quit with them.
Wow, that's wild.
It's looking back, that's one regret. I should have actually quit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was, as we got into spring, just one thing led to the next, and I had more work personally.
Yeah.
That needed to be done, and they were supportive of me, and I'm still good friends with them.
I think that's probably a testament of them, right? Is that
Absolutely.
There's not a grudge, and they saw that the truth of the matter is that David should be the e-bike guy.
Yep.
That's awesome. So your first year was the evolution of.
So it started late 2015 is when I formed E-Bikes of Holmes County, LLC. And with the goal of, I wanted everything to train. I was doing it just kind of as a DBA, using my own name, or had a DBA at that time. So late 2015, I created the LLC. And being in the industry with the kits introduced me to the complete bikes. Nobody in the area was carrying the complete bikes at that time. They looked intriguing. I signed up with 2 or 3 brands to begin with, just brought in a few models.
Yeah.
I was not in position to just fill the entire showroom.
Yeah.
Which it was a small corner garage at that time.
Okay.
So it's not big space, just a small space. Brought in a few models for test drives, and people test drove them, decided which one they want. I ordered in for them. And that was 2016. I did a little event in the spring, just kind of a Saturday, have free hot dogs. Father-in-law was grilling them.
Yeah.
Free hot dogs and pop and test drives. Brought them out on the concrete pad in front of the garage there. And I at that time I was just thinking about this morning. I told my father-in-law and brother-in-law, we live kind of on the same place there.
Yeah.
And they did a great job in helping me as well with that event. If we sell 20 bikes that day, I'll buy them all steaks for dinner.
Uh-huh.
One evening later on, and I think we sold 25 that day. And it was like, that blew my mind.
Amazing.
So that was in 2016. I was still doing the stairway gig, loving my job. But as we led into spring of 2017, bikes became more and more popular in our area. And that was the end of really my CAD career. I missed it.
Yeah.
It was a great industry to be in, but life had other plans for me.
I mean, there is the possibility where you could use your CAD skills and make your own bike.
You could. Bike industry is so heavily centered on China, Vietnam, and other countries, abroad. The U.S. is just a fraction of the bicycle market that Europe has. Just a fraction of it. The companies that sell 60, 80,000 bikes a year in Europe might be selling 15 to 20. Mm-hmm. That's the last report that I've heard. Might have changed in the last 5 years or so, but the U.S. is still just a fraction of where Europe is as far as terms of bike transportation.
Yeah. So you had that first year, you had the transformational, the day where you realized that this is now a thing. It's no longer a side hustle. Take us through like the history. So that was 10 years ago when you started this.
Doesn't feel like 10 years.
Right.
So 2017, spring of 2017, I was full-time in the bike industry, selling e-bikes. It was every day, keep trying to keep everybody happy, servicing the bikes, assembling new ones, just everything, trying to keep everything in order by myself. My wife was helping. We had 2017, a 2-year-old daughter at that time.
Okay.
Or almost 2. And it transitioned. By the fall of 2017, I hired my first employee, was part-time, quickly became full-time. And later in 2017, we bought the property where we're at now.
Okay.
Late 17, construction started, and we moved into this facility in 2018.
So year one, 2015, is you form the LLC, you're doing just light sales. By 2017, you're out of CAD, stairways, and you're full-time this.
Yep.
And then spring 2018, you're in the building where we're sitting at right now.
Yep.
That's a massive shift.
It was extremely fast. It was too fast.
Okay.
We couldn't adapt to the changes happening. They were happening so fast. So I had one full-time employee when we moved in here. I did have my second hire lined up by the time we moved into here. So I think it was the second week in May. We had our event scheduled, like an annual sales event where we have store-wide savings. We had that scheduled for here. And May 1st, I had my second employee start. We should have had more, but everything happened so fast we couldn't keep up. I was just doing what needed to be done, wearing every hat there was to wear, really. But I had great guys helping me as well, where it wasn't a specific role.
Yeah.
Where everybody was doing sales, everybody was doing service. We were just helping each other.
Yeah.
There were no roles assigned. Then later in 2018, we were buried. There was vendors. We needed parts to repair bikes.
Yeah.
They didn't ship them, or if they shipped them, they might have it was a mess.
Okay.
We had a customer's bike here, and he calls one day, and it was normal at that time. Hey, is my bike done? No, we're waiting on parts. It was just crazy. And one day, this customer, his name's Alan, asked to speak to me, and I'm like, take the phone call expecting, hey, was my bike done? He's like, are you looking to hire more people? I'm like, yes. Actually, yes. We've been talking about it. So we ended up hiring him, and that was in, I think, around July 4th of 2018, and he's still with us.
That is a lot to change, went from selling some e-bikes to doing some service out of your garage.
We had to, service is always, with bicycles, services will always be a part of it.
And probably being one of the guys at the lift, cranking wrenches, changing tires, chains, doing all the work yourself.
Yep.
And then somebody walks in the door and you go help them. And
we didn't have the fancy lifts we have now.
Oh, so you were just...
Right now we had, our lifts are attached to the ceiling. They come down. They're one of a kind, designed by us to lift the bikes off the ground. No, this was just a traditional metal bike stand on the floor. We had to lift the bikes up. We didn't even have an air compressor to inflate the tires. Oh. We were using a pump. It's like, this doesn't take too much longer. Just pumping the tires. Customers always asked us, why don't you get an air compressor? Like, this is just as easy. I disagree now. I've used it since we've installed an actual compressor, and it's not as easy.
Yeah.
But we were, 10 years younger then too. So, here's the funny part back to Ala. When he started, within the first week or so, his bike was still waiting on parts. He found the part. It was here. He fixed his own bike then.
That's amazing.
So things have changed.
Yeah.
Just to clarify how much things have changed. Right now, on service, we're scheduling usually 1 to 2 days out. And we have most of the parts in stock. That has improved greatly too, thanks to you guys' help.
Yeah.
But we try to stock those parts, and our turnarounds have, I dare to say, been right now. Turnaround on service is probably one of the best in the industry.
You mentioned the Amish community. Who are they? Your target market, or how's that? What was your target market day one? Where are you at now?
So our target market was the local Amish community from day one.
Yeah,
and it will always be, because of them is how we got to this point. But it has really evolved in the last few years, where now our new bike sales it's split almost 50-50 with people outside of this area. We have customers from Cleveland, Columbus, Dayton, West Virginia, Western Pennsylvania who make the drive for us.
Oh, wow.
On new bike sales. The difference is those bikes are being ridden on a leisure.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of retirees that ride anywhere from 10 to 30 miles every day.
Oh.
I didn't realize there's actually that much cycling happening before we met these people. And it's some of the best. We have some of the best customer base, from the local community to people outside of this area, 55 plus married couples.
Yeah.
And they're enjoying their life, and a lot of them have become friends with us as well. And there's a couple from Pennsylvania. They're in the area probably 6 times a year.
Yeah.
They stop in, drop off cookies, and just hang out here and chat. And but we have multiple. That's one example. There's multiple groups of those people. And but then on the service side, the local community is over 80% of our work.
Okay.
These bikes are ridden every day for transportation.
Yeah.
It's not just a casual rider. And that's one service with the pickup and deliveries. We'll pick them up at their job.
Yeah.
Bring it in, fix the flat, make the adjustments, whatever they require, and have it back out at their job before their shift ends.
That's incredible.
They can ride it home. So they brought it in, got a flat tire on the way to work. It needs service. By the time they're done, the bike's out waiting on them, completed and ready to go.
That's like Bike AAA.
It kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Seems like you've also built a really solid relationship with your vendors.
We have. And that's, I personally think the relationship people have with their vendors can be a make or break.
Yeah.
Every year there's a bike show called CABDA in Chicago that we attend. It's not necessarily to find the newest, latest, and greatest, but we've started, it's face-to-face meeting the people that you're dealing with on the phone.
Yeah.
Getting to know the people behind the phone, the voice behind the phone, putting a face to it, and, sharing personal stories. Once you establish that personal connection with someone, there's more respect there.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
It starts with you as well. I mean, you have to be worthy of that type of relationship. But, if we have a problem, we can call them. They're now our friends.
Yeah.
And it allows us, they're more willing to do more for you as well.
Yeah.
And I've always said we're only as good as the companies that stand behind us. If they don't come through to us, we can't come through to you.
Yeah, that's great. So what gets you excited to show up for work every day?
A few things.
Yeah.
I enjoy this, but having good employees,
Yeah.
the relationship we have with each other, we're here to work, but we also have fun in the process. We can joke with each other, and the customers that we have. There's people stopping in to talk. You find out what's happening throughout, not just the community, but and further. And it's the people.
Yeah.
The people, either you pay them or they're paying you.
Yeah.
But that's the part that I really like.
That's awesome. So I would like to pivot and talk a little bit about technology and e-bikes, because you're selling technology, right? You're selling an e-bike, which is unique. Personally, it was one of the things that shocked me when I first came, my first time in this area in Holmes County was, I think that person's Amish and they're riding an e-bike, and coming from Philadelphia and where our company's based in Central PA that doesn't happen as much.
Mm-hmm.
But from your view, what's the relationship with e-bikes and technology? Where did implementing software, computers, even building your own lifts, how did that show up in the life cycle or the story of e-bikes? What were the moments that made you go, I need something to solve this problem?
How much the transportation aspect really changed in this community. Yes, horse and buggies are still popular. But one thing that was more popular in 2015 through 18 even was tractors.
Okay.
Using tractors on the road. You still see it occasionally, but very little.
Yeah.
It's not safe.
Yeah.
To take a tractor and a trailer filled with people.
Right.
Taking a bike, an electric bike, is easier.
Mm-hmm.
And even, making run to the local town 2 miles. I can be there, or you could be there with the bike versus, catching the horse, brushing it, harnessing it, hitching it up, and going. And it's faster.
Yeah.
It started slow, but it really caught on. 2017 to 18 is when electric bikes really exploded in the community, and it's becoming a bigger source, the main source of transportation. Now, in the Amish community, bikes are not used for transportation to church.
Okay.
That's still horse and buggy, walking, traditional methods. That part, I don't see that changing.
Sure.
In the near future.
Yeah.
But just in general, the ability to, you can pull a trailer with your cart with your kids,
right?
Young kids in the back. Your kids can, as they come over, there's smaller bikes that they can ride. You'll ride slower than if you're by yourself. But there's still cars on the road. You need to be safe.
Yeah.
The end goal is still being safe at the end of your destination.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about adopting ERP and what that did? Like, how did that impact your business? And what was the thing that...
The accounting side was my biggest desire. And when I started the company, even before the marketing job, I was working with a company who was using EBMS at that time. I knew the basics of how it worked.
Yeah.
Just tracking inventory.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I needed something probably more on the accounting side. And when I launched, we started growing, inventory started becoming bigger. We had brought in the basics at the beginning.
Sure.
And as customers ask for this, they ask for that, we brought, maybe an extra one or two in, and just slowly grew. And the frustrating part was someone asked for it, you brought it in a few extra, then nobody else wanted it. It's like that's learning. You learn. Retail wasn't something I had experience in. It was something that I had to learn. And then we added it was a plugin. I even forget the name of it. That was supposed to work integrated with QuickBooks. The demo I had and the performance I got were not on the same level. Yeah. I wanted something to track serial numbers. And So that in 2017 is when I reached back out to Eagle. I'm like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Eagle at that time.
Yeah.
Now.
Yep.
I think I'm ready. There was in the next week, they actually had a seminar in Berlin
Okay.
that I attended. And, during sometime there, I met with Jake. It was Jake and probably Craig.
Okay.
They took me to a little side room and gave me asked me the questions, what I need. And I think it was there that we committed to it and had it going live in, I think it was September or October of 2017. But we still weren't utilizing it to the potential that I knew we needed it. It was learning experience.
Sure.
And plus, being busy trying to do everything. This is the evolution part that I really like is my employees at that time, 2 of them no longer with us. They've moved on to better things in their life as well. And, they asked, hey, do we have this in stock? I'm like, did you check the system? They're like, you can't trust the system. You can't trust the system. I'm like, yes, if we use it, we can learn to trust our system. But the numbers were always,
a little off here,
little off here, little off there. And we weren't scanning everything. We were, selecting because we didn't have the selection of things. So, you search maybe a keyword. Yep, there it is. And just selected it. Even if it wasn't, it was just, and we finally got it turned around. Right now we're attaching, if a product doesn't come in with a barcode, we're printing our own, attaching it to the product. Everything is scannable.
Yeah.
It's so much easier. You're not selecting the wrong product.
Right.
Even if you have 3 similar, but there's a small variance in it that you can't look at. If you just look at the description, there's a 50-50 chance you select the wrong one. And it happened. And so right now, if it doesn't have a unique barcode, we give it a unique barcode, just a sticker label. We attach it to that. And in the last 2 to 3 years, has really, if I ask, for me, I want to go grab a part for a customer, like, hey, do we have so-and-so? I'll ask one of the guys, like, you check the system. It's been turned around now.
That's so funny. So it seems like you've definitely simplified. There's complexity with adding a system, but you have the data you need. You can make decisions as an owner, manager, and your team is even using the tool. It turned the table when you asked the silly question, but it's kind of reinforced the magic of the system.
Yep.
How do you think that decision to invest in EBMS and bring that into and incorporate it and do the barcoding, and it took a while, but how did that affect the trajectory of your business? If we remove that and you were still just using QuickBooks, what would it be like to run this business?
There'd be a lot of in my opinion, there'd be a lot of customers waiting on stuff because it's harder to know when something comes in. Add more, and it becomes more required as you grow, as you add more people. Anybody can answer the question, do we have it? It's not going back to one specific person. Is this available?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me go ask. Well, you can also look. If you do it correctly the first time, and it's easy to do with the Koval system, to create a sale, you can see if it's still in the sales order. It's not easy to miss. But going back and looking at history, like serial numbers are very important for us on the bicycle side.
Right.
Every bicycle has their own unique serial number. We can't receive it into inventory without entering that serial number.
Right.
Love that. We can't process the sales order without having a serial number attached. If that's not the requirement, you just let it slide.
Yeah, right.
The other side of is bikes get stolen. You need a serial number to file a police report.
Yeah.
It's on your receipt. But they can also call us and we have it available at a quick I mean, it's easier for us to find your serial number than it is for you to find the receipt of 3 years ago.
Yeah, most definitely.
And that has actually, it has happened where bikes get stolen, and with us having the serial numbers, on the recovery, there's a few more there.
Yeah.
You can see who the previous owner was. Our local law enforcement knows that we track it.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened yet, but they have asked the question, if something would happen, there's no identification, could we look up the serial number? Yes, we can.
That's cool.
I don't hope we ever have to use it, but knowing we have the ability is a peace of mind as well.
Well, it's also a fun relationship you have with the community, right? So your customers know that they can call and get information. Local authorities can call and get information when they're trying to return something. That's really huge. One last question I have around technology and implementing it inside of your business. Coming from the conservative Anabaptist world and having a business that serves that community as well as others, what advice do you have for people in that space in navigating technology? The challenge of there's technology abounds, and yet there's values and constraints, and there's got to be some tension or decision making that you had to go through in helping guide you so you can be consistent with who you are and where you come from and who you are in your community, but also running your business.
Align it with your beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of bad that can happen from technology, but there's also a lot of good. It's the people operating it that determine the outcome of that. But there's so many safety nets you can install as well to keep. Do they work? The only way to know is test them.
Yep.
Or trust that they have been installed.
Yeah.
So that is it's a valid question that you need to be aware of. But just having people stay aligned, really adds value to the business, the technology involved in the business, and it comes down more to the people, and their beliefs.
Yeah, it sounds like the core theme would be knowing who you are and who you want to be in this world, and the what's and the hows kind of answer themselves in the way. I'd love just to dig into some processes. You have a service shop, you're managing inventory. What are some of the biggest challenges you faced? And we talked a little bit about that pivot from being able to trust the ERP system to give the information, but were there other challenges you faced, whether it's knowing how much to buy or even how to manage the amount of money is sitting on a showroom floor versus what to order? And you've had a pandemic in the middle of it all.
The pandemic just derailed all of that. And we learned a lot through that time as well. It's managing how much inventory you should have. If you completely have figured out that puzzle, share it with me, because it's a work in progress. I like the position we're in now. I think we're in a better position than we've been probably ever.
Okay.
And we've been working recently with Alex on the Power BI side.
Yeah.
He added a purchasing tool. He made tweaks for what we were looking for. And through then the pandemic, let's start with at that point where there was so little available that you needed. When it became available, everybody, I'm guilty of it, we got greedy.
Oh, yeah.
And there's 10 available, we'll take 10.
Yeah.
Let's back it up. Start of the pandemic. We saw, was it end of March, when it really started taking effect. And we started hearing rumblings from our reps where, shipping is being shut down. The ports are being shut down. Most of our stuff is imported.
Yeah.
One morning, Alan helps me on. He's our purchasing agent now. Third employee. still with us since 2018. We sat down one morning and ran reports of, so last, I think it was 6 months of the year.
Yeah.
How many inner tubes did we use? How many tires did we use? All the components of the bikes. We looked at the amount that we used.
Mm-hmm.
We worked with our, at that time, there were probably 3 of our main component suppliers. How much do they have in stock? We were looking at numbers of, well, they have this much. We use this. We placed large orders that morning, cleaned up a few of our vendors. There was a few products that they couldn't ship the amount we ordered because someone else was doing the same thing at the exact same time.
Mm-hmm.
They bought it before we could place the order. So instead of maybe 20, we ended up with 15 or 10. But we bought large quantities of everything. I think we spent over $15,000 that morning.
Oh, wow.
We started at I think it was 4:30 that morning. And by 8 o'clock, we were placing orders, had everything where we felt we were in position to cover us. If everything shuts down, we can still support it. What we didn't take into consideration is the demand that would grow with that as well. That was the unknown. We still had inner tubes where a lot of our local competitors were using patches.
Oh, wow.
We still had inner tubes. We still had chain rings, or free wheels, which is the sprocket. There's 2 different types of sprockets attached to bikes.
Yeah.
On e-bikes, free wheels are the most popular. We still had free wheels. A lot of our competitors locally and really nationwide were out of components. They couldn't fix them, and we could take care of our customers. That was a decision that EBMS really helped us seeing how much we needed because of the last 6 months by running simple reports.
Yeah.
It helped set us apart and kept us in a better position. And as we kept eyes on the counts, on our suppliers, and as things became available, we might have been running low, we grabbed them.
Yeah.
The bad part was after a year or 2 of that, when all of a sudden the ports or something open and everybody had so much more stuff in stock, but there was still that little greedy mindset, and everybody just grabbed everything, including our vendors. They were way overstocked going into 2023, where now they were shoving products down our neck. It's so our inventory went from here to here.
Oh, wow.
And they wanted to maintain that. And it's one thing we really focused on in the last 6 months plus, actually late last year, is we still had bikes or other stuff from 2023 that, they wanted us to buy, gave us special pricing, but we're just sitting on it.
Yeah.
It's paid for. It sits here. It's taking out floor space. It's not making money.
Yeah.
Even if you have healthy margins, if you sit on it for that long period of time, it's costing you money. And we've moved through a lot of those bikes. And our goal is to have a quicker turnover. So, working with Alex now with the Power BI, he just made the remark the other day, purchasing guy, that if I take that away from him, we'll have issues. And he's only been using it for 2 to 3 weeks. But he added an extra column where our turnover rate, days of turnover, yes, it has the days of inventory, but what we wanted to compare is how much do we have in stock?
Yeah.
How much have we sold in the last 60 days?
Yeah.
And a column doing the math. So we can sort it by the difference column.
Yeah.
And it's if this number is X, it's keep an eye on it, reorder it. But the days of inventory has also played a good role of, it's, yes, we've sold X amount in the last 60 days. We have this amount, but days of inventory.
Yeah.
we're still good for another month or two. So why bring it in now versus waiting a month? We'll still be in the same situation, and then we can bring it in then.
Yeah, that's good. It's interesting. They're looking for the Goldilocks quantity, right? And not too little, not too much, just right. And for those listening or watching the show, he's mentioning Alex. Alex is part of the Cobalt team, and he develops and leads the Cobalt Analytics product, which is a Power BI based tool that lets customers view sales data, purchasing data, inventory data, and really take a look at their business through a surgical analysis of the numbers. So
that has been really good to look at. And even the map.
Yeah.
There's that map feature where you can select customers' date range. Where are the customers from?
Yeah.
To, making it more broad.
Yeah.
And seeing where your hotspots are. Where should we focus on future marketing as well? Has it changed from 2024 to 2025? Or if there is a change in location, did our marketing change at that time? Why is the east side of Columbus becoming more popular than, the northwest side? Just, it helps you analyze so much more. Where are we at? The other thing that I like, yes, you can run reports, but having the ability to see this month versus, today or May of 2025 versus May of 24 versus 23 right there.
Yeah.
And, click of the button, you can break that down by date or by annually. It's powerful. There's so much there. And I really think Alex has a lot more coming that you don't realize you'll use on a daily basis. But and looking at the numbers on a daily basis keeps you aware of what's happening. Yeah. And it only improves from there.
That's amazing. I'd like to just ask quickly a little bit about, let me say this. You talked about your inventory story and the challenges, and the pandemic was clearly consequential, both in your posture, your natural gut response. I'm not going to say the tariffs are just like the pandemic, but it hits a similar problem in that the supply chain of bikes is highly centered in East and Southeast Asia. Are tariffs impacting the business, your business specifically here in Holmes County, bike industry, and how are you managing that? How are you dealing with that reality?
Yes and no. A few of our companies had to actually raise prices slightly. Some of them became very creative in moving their, the assembly around to another country. Yes, it has had an impact, but not to the level we feared. But the great part is it affects everybody in our industry. It's not just us. If the tariff would only affect us, be a different story. But our competitors are affected as well. Some even in worse positions where, and that's the bad part about having quicker turnaround on inventory. Like, there's more planning on that is you get more affected by the tariffs. If you can stock up beforehand, you could buy the pre-tariff pricing and pass the savings on to the customer as well until that inventory is sold.
Right.
So yes, it has affected us, but no, it hasn't.
Yeah.
Not to the level that was feared. Not the pandemic did a lot more, was a lot rougher than the tariffs.
Right. And if the entire energy industry is being affected, equitably, then you're not in a more unique position than the giant dealership down the street.
No. We're using the same components. We're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
But it's not just the bike industry being affected. It's the shoe industry. It's everything.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, but
yeah. Another quick question about your growth. You're continuing to grow as a company. You have a new venture. So you want to tell us a little bit about this expansion?
So in 2018, when we moved into this facility, in 2019, I was approached by a customer of ours about opening up a second location. He wanted a career change, and was interested if we'd be interested in partnering with him to sell e-bikes in his area. He's 12 miles west of here.
Mm-hmm.
Started part-time, just in the evening in his shop.
Yeah.
That was in late 2019. Then in spring of 2020, we moved into the current location, a little bit closer, real close to the Holmes County Rails to Trails. It was an old restaurant building that he did a lot of work in.
Yeah.
Built it up. Spring of 2020, he went full-time there. And at that time, we were hearing a lot the question. We were getting phone calls on a regular basis of tourists coming into the area of, do you rent bikes?
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't. Where can you rent bikes? I don't know. I don't know that anybody is renting bikes in the area. And we're like, once you hear the question repeatedly, it's like, what can we do? So we decided to launch a rental program. And for people, tourism is huge in our community. So those people can enjoy the trail as well. And so we launched a separate entity called Charge Ride with bike rentals. And we had basically a division here. We had a division in Holmesville. And what we discovered is the people that wanted to rent from here, loading them on their cars and taking them to the trail. So it's like, well, we don't need why transport them? They can go out to our Holmesville location, and park there, and they can ride from there. There's no transportation needed.
Yeah.
And so we've since eliminated the rental from here.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. We can still work with someone, but it's a separate entity from the Holmesville location. It works great, adding the two retail sales, but then also Charge Ride is there as well. And that is done okay in the since I think that was 2020 as well.
Yeah. When
we launched the rental. Then in 2014, we've been touring Sarasota Pinecraft area. Big winter destination for all of us up north here.
Yeah.
It's like bike rentals are a big thing there too. Why don't we add a rental? Well, that's 1,200 miles from here.
Mm-hmm.
Who, how, where?
Yeah.
So I called a realtor.
Yeah.
In Sarasota. Like, he has better connections than I do. Mm-hmm. Nick Yoder, great guy. I called him and I'm like, you have more connections than I do in Florida. You're a realtor. You can help me with location. Here's the idea that we have is basically, instead of having a physical location of where you stop in to pick them up, let's use the same concept that we have with E-Bikes of Holmes County and take them out to you. So our location doesn't have to be centrally located, just nearby. We'll meet you at the bus stop. We'll meet you at your house you're renting for a week or 2 weeks or whatever. Once you're done, you can go home. We'll just pick up the bikes and bring them back in. And I called Nick and I'm like, I'm looking for a place to rent, but you have better connections than I do in the area. I need someone who lives there, who'd be interested in, my original idea was a semi-retired guy.
Yeah, sure.
It's not that much to do. And, our conversation kind of led one thing to the next, and is like, I might actually be interested. With being a realtor, it's not he's busy. He's busy, but at the same time, he has a lot of free time. Having a little bit of extra income is always nice. Yeah. And like, okay, it's not the direction I was expecting it to go, but I'm on board. Yeah. And in February 1st of 2024, we launched Charge Ride in Sarasota, Florida. it was a great time to start. Kind of winter's half over.
Yeah.
We started slow, helped us work out the bugs. And 2025, 4 to 5, late 24, spring of 25. It's been very good. And Nick has done a phenomenal job.
Amazing.
I could not ask for a better connection. No intention. When I made the phone call, I never dreamed he'd be the guy to do it.
Yeah.
But he's done a phenomenal job. And, you know, he's a people person as well. And he loves helping people. And it's been a great partnership.
Yeah, it seems like your theme is largely centered around the quality of the people, the intent, the integrity, the values make all the difference in the world. I just want a couple of closing questions as we're wrapping up this fun interview, this fun episode. What is some advice you'd give to other businesses like yours who are facing, everything from supply chain shocks, rapid growth, and diversification in how you're doing a business model, from including both multiple locations, but also adding like a secondary business associated to it. Yeah, what are some thoughts you have? How would you encourage other entrepreneurs, people who are diving into a venture?
Hire good people.
Yeah.
Take one day at a time. That was probably during the rapid growth. I could not think about what's happening next week. It was one day at a time. Our focus was what happens today is what we're focused on. Dreaming about bigger things was not an option.
Yeah.
We had to focus on what was on hand, but just take one day at a time.
Right.
And you'll get through.
Awesome. All right. Well, David, thank you for having us and letting us join and kind of invade your space. This has been really, really fun. I love bikes. I love biking. You know this. You've not got me on an e-bike yet. Maybe there will be video of that we'll post of that.
Because once you ride it, you understand of how they work. And it's just seeing the people on their first test drive come back with that smile on their face.
Yeah.
It's like, this is fun.
Yeah. If you enjoyed this conversation and found it helpful, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. We'll keep bringing you practical advice and expert perspectives to help you build a better business, more productive teams, and stronger communities. And if you have questions or topics you'd like us to cover in a future episode, let us know at marketing@copalsystems.com. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, I'm Deke Bowman, and this is Taking Stock. We'll see you soon. All right, so we're in the shop for those listening. And David, so walk us through what you have here. I've been a cyclist for a long time, kid, all that. And this is the first time I've ever seen a lift coming out of the ceiling.
Yep. So they were designed by us because of the heavy weight of an electric bike. You know, you're looking on an average of 55 to 65 plus, up to 80 pounds. And traditional bike lifts stand on the floor and come up with this clamp.
Yeah.
That's just a standard clamp.
Yeah.
Our goal was to have it come down from the ceiling. It's in 3 parts. It's designed by us.
Okay.
Basically, it allows us to lift the bikes without actually lifting the bike.
Right.
To work on, bring it up to the correct heights.
Yeah.
By having it coming down from the ceiling versus up from the ground, the offside is available to work on easily as well. Where instead of fighting like the center rod on the ground,
right,
we can lift it with a remote. There's a winch installed on the top. Press the button.
Yep.
Bike comes up. Now you can work on it here.
Yeah.
Lower it back down. Take it off the lid. It's always at the correct heights. You don't have to bend over as far. It just makes it so much easier.
I mean, even for my non-e-bike, having the bottom exposed is massive. Because when I'm working on my own bike, what I ultimately do is just end up flipping the bike around on the rack, right? So I can work on the other side. So,
you normally, standard is, having the drive side away from that side, but there's still things that need to be done on the other side, brakes or things like that. So,
yeah, this is awesome. So, I'm curious, how long does it take for somebody to learn how to become a bike mechanic?
It varies on the person.
Yeah, but on average, like if I were to show up and say, "Hey, David, I'm gonna quit software. I'm gonna be a bike mechanic." What would you think?
Within a month or a week, even the first week, we'll have you doing the basic repairs.
Yeah.
It varies from one person to the next. Some people catch on easy. Some people it takes repeatedly. But within a month, almost 10 years later, we're still incurring problems that first time. It's like, how? I thought we've seen everything. There's always something new.
Yeah. This is awesome. You also have this like interesting little clip. Is this, so this is something you've done to make sure you have
found them. So it's basically when the bikes come in here, we create a task, service task, attach it directly to the bike. So it's attached to it. Once it's done, this is replaced with an invoice. So
nice. All right. That's awesome. You want to show us around the showroom and highlight a couple of bikes for us?
First of all, where do you want to ride? What style of riding do you like? Most of ours, as you can see, is more of a leisure ride.
Yeah.
From smaller frame bikes to, fat tires to just more of a traditional bike look.
Yeah.
Then distance, battery sizes depend. That's gas tank size, right? So watt hours, volts times amps equals watt hours, which is your gas tank size. How far do you want to ride? Do you want to, is a 15 amp enough, or we have 30 amp hours available as well. And then there's two ways that a bike is powered with, like Gazelle is a mid-drive.
Okay.
The motor's in the center. Power goes through the chain.
Yep.
With the Bosch power system, it feels more like riding a traditional bike, but assisted.
Yep.
Then there's hub drive, which is the most popular for us.
Okay.
It feels a little bit more snappy, so to speak.
Okay.
And your average ride speed is higher as well. So hub drive, you can see the motor in the back wheel. That's where the power generates from. Mid-drive powers by the crank, your pedals.
Yeah.
And you can use your gear ratio to keep the mid-drive running more efficiently as well.
Okay. So are these all pedal X bikes?
There's cadence or torque sensors.
Okay.
So all the bikes we sell have the pedal assist option.
Yeah.
Majority of them also have a throttle on the handlebar, so you don't have to pedal if you don't want to. But the charge on the battery only lasts about half if you use pedal assist.
Gotcha.
So it's basically, when you start pedaling, and a test drive answers all of these questions. When you start pedaling, the motor activates. You stop pedaling, the motor shuts off. You're just coasting. So the power's there when you need it, not just excessive.
Yeah.
Plus you can make adjustments there's controls on the handlebars, display. You can adjust how much power you want the bike to give you as well. The less power you get, the further you can ride.
Yeah.
The more aggressive you ride, the less distance you get per charge.
Yeah.
So you're on a Stromer ST5 with ABS brakes. Ride it like a traditional bike, has a torque sensor. It'll respond to you.
Sure.
As soon as you start riding, you can change the assistance plus and minus button.
Yeah.
Just ride it like a normal bicycle.
Oh my gosh. This is dangerous. It's so responsive. Right at. The ABS is killer. Like I would have fishtailed heavily on mine. Oh. This is dang it, David, you're gonna make me buy a bike.
He was just going to ride around in the parking lot, right? But when he returns, look at the smile on his face. That's what makes our job so much fun.
This is magical. It's incredible. It zooms. How much did this guy run?
That was, original price was over $10,000. I think we're at $8,500 on that one right now.
It's got Pirelli tires on it.
It has Pirelli tires. It has all the bells and whistles you can imagine. High, low beam, headlight, super bright, has brake lights, touch screen, ABS brakes. We've just on the front, not in the rear. Pinion shift.
How heavy is this?
85 pounds.
I mean, I would not want to carry this up the stairs in my house, but I mean, even this city where locking your bike is an absolute requirement, it has all the security functions.
I would still lock it,
Right.
but yes, it does. You can track it. Once it's locked, I don't have the pin, so I can't showcase it for you right now. But like the wheel, when you push it and it's locked, the wheel will lock up and release, lock up. It's just like this jerky system. Then the horn starts beeping and headlights, tail lights starts flashing. It would cause a scene. You know, she's riding too slow.